My name is Suzanne Ross. I'm from the Free Mumia Abu-Jamal Coalition, International Concerned Family and Friends. And the reason I've done a lot of the work for International Concerned Family and Friends of traveling around to different countries and building solidarity for Mumia. And in the process, there he is. Come on in, Finole. Welcome, welcome. Okay. And there's Chloe. That's Chloe Clark. Great. And so that's who I am. And in the process, one of the things that interested me, which is why this workshop is being held, is the dynamic that's developed between the solidarity that's been given to Mumia and the solidarity we have returned and given in return. And there's a dynamic of mutual reciprocal support that I think is very significant, that's often not talked about. So that's what we wanted to develop today. We have some amazing panelists, one of whom is eating, and you can guess who she is. Go ahead, eat. No, you don't have, you go ahead, eat, please. And they're going to talk about this, the kind of solidarity that's been extended to this struggle and the kind of reciprocal support and what that means in terms of building my dream and a lot of people's dream, an anti-imperialist movement that's international, that really understands the common enemy we have and that works together on separate and together issues but builds that kind of understanding and dynamic. So let me introduce our panelists and then we'll proceed. Cole, you want to come sit up here? Okay. So this is a guest of honor, Finole Saint-Cyr, who is leader of a workers' organization in Haiti. And back in year 2000, this is in Haiti, back in the year 2000, his organization collected 100,000 signatures in support of Mumia. In 2008, Finole, on his own, came to Washington, D.C. when we were coming to confront the Department of Justice. Where's Ray, who's supposed to be translating?
Ray is coming along with the senator.
Okay. So he won't speak first because we need a translator, but I'll tell you who he is. So in 2007, he came with us specifically to support Mumia when we were asking for civil rights investigation of the Justice Department. He was in Washington and spoke at our press conference. So based on that, yeah, we can give her another round of applause. And this is from Haiti, who everybody thinks is, and is in fact, obviously, severely challenged on many levels. And in the middle of that, as Pam has put it, they found enough love in their hearts to be able to extend support for Mumia. So that's very profound in terms of a lesson for all of us. And this year, I just came back from Haiti and I went specifically to thank the people of Haiti and this organization and Finole publicly as they were having a conference, a continental conference, to get rid of the U.S., we call them the U.S. UN troops, which are occupying Haiti. I'm going to repeat that so everybody understands, because people don't understand that the United Nations is an occupying force. The U.S. UN troops in Haiti, which resemble any occupying force. I mean, to me, I've been in several countries that were occupied. It looked like any other occupation forces. UN, I hated them within a minute. You know, it's that kind of. We went there to offer support. Mumia sent a message, and his message was translated into Creole and read out loud and, received. So that's the story of Finole, and he'll speak once the translator comes. Chloe Clark is a longtime activist who comes out of the civil rights movement in the South, has been active in the Green Party, has been active in this international work, and introduced me to Finole and introduced me to a whole network of organizations back a few years back, and has really made some of that international work possible. And that's been her role, very significant role. William Kamakara is the leader, everybody knows him, who's active, who does solidarity work for Venezuela, knows William, who's there at the front lines all the time in New York, and also has been, has been an amazing organizer of trips to Venezuela. I've gone twice to Venezuela with his group and once to Bolivia. And it's not like any other kind of trip you can imagine. I highly recommend, if you want to learn about Venezuela and want to see the grassroots scene and have opportunities to talk to people, and he tremendously facilitated my work and made always the media. I mean, when I was in both in Bolivia and Venezuela, you know, you would have thought I was a star in terms of the kind of access I had to media. And this was William's work. He said, you know, one night after a long day of activities, he called and he called my room and he said, could you get ready like in 10 minutes? We have an interview on national radio. I was like, sure. And off we went, you know, it was like that. With long interviews, not sound bites. Not sound bites. This is the government media of El Salvador. And of course, Pam Africa, who started a lot of this international work, together with Julia Wright. And are we going to have to play this message from Mumia?
I don't know. I'm not that experienced to be able to do it. I'm having trouble connecting.
Is anyone able to help him connect? The internet reception here is difficult. We have a message from Mumia today. If someone can help, please. So Pam started, Julia Wright is the daughter of Richard Wright, who is based in Paris and started a lot of the international work years back. Pam and Ramona have traveled to many, many countries. They're known all over the world. They're loved all over the world and have been the heart and soul of the international work as well as the heart and soul of the movement in this country. So once again, we always have to acknowledge them because their leadership has been exemplary. Exemplary. I have never been in a movement in this country that resembles the kind of leadership that Pam Africa and the MOVE organization has provided. Unbelievable. Did I forget something? No. What are you pointing to? You finished eating? Pam has finished eating. So I think we might start really with Pam, because she can give a little bit of the history since we do not have, we're not starting with Mumia's message right now. Anyone, I'll keep asking. If anyone can help with internet access, please don't hesitate, because it would be great to play Mumia's message. Please, yes, please help. We're expecting the youth to save us. The youth is on the line.
I want to move. Thank everybody for coming out. And but I am not the starter of the international movement. I'm a part of the glue that keeps it together. Julia Wright, and in Germany it was started. But you know what? Political prisoners, Sylvia Baradini, was responsible for the work that was done in Italy. On one of, and in the very beginning, I would not travel on an airplane. I had the biggest fear of airplanes, and so Mona did a lot of the traveling on, on airplanes. It wasn't until I got invited to Cuba that I decided I'm going to fly on this airplane. Yeah, and but political prisoners and the work that they do, and pulling together this movement from behind the bars. Sylvia Baradini was responsible for the work that was done in Italy, and herself being a political prisoner here, and for the great work on behalf of all of us. She was arrested, put in prison, and she told people in Italy that, when you speak her name, you speak the name of Mumia. When my sister Ramona, and I can't remember who went with her to an event over in Italy, there was received by mayors, and when they got out the this limousine that they sent for them, and they was going into this huge church, I can't remember the name of it, but there was this red carpet and that was there, and they're walking down this red carpet, and they get on the inside, and they can understand two things that they were saying in this opera that they had done on behalf of Mumia, and that was Mumia's name in John Africa. So the work that's being done is being done by a lot of people in Denmark, in Germany, France, of course, where Mumia, and I definitely was a part of the work, and working with Julia Wright and the collective, and all to make Mumia a honorary citizen of Paris, and the work that was done to make Mumia's name in Paris, and not in Paris, in Saint-Denis. And the people loved us so much that they asked me, could I pull together a delegation? And we did. And 10 people, then Julia said, you need more, Pam. They put us up. We did food. We did radio programs. And they had wanted me to be the recipient and the honorary speaker for Mumia during the time that they made him an honorary citizen in Paris. You have to think politically there, and because although a lot of people in Paris liked me and the work that we did, Angela Davis was the one that I asked to come to Paris to accept that. Because Angela, they had been wanting her to come back for years and years and years, and she hadn't. And for Mumia, she went back, and we had media. It was all in the African news media. It was just everywhere. So in this work, the invitation to Cuba, I was told that we was going to have a delegation for Cuba, an educational delegation. And when we got there, it was an honorary, it was, they were honoring me for the work that we did here in the United States. So when I say we, because we do not stand alone, although it was an activity that was given to me by John Africa to pull together the people and to educate people around Mumia and raise the necessary funds, and you can't do that alone. And so with the help of majority of people in this room, Francis, and you look around here, other people, Suzanne, Coley, the brother here, the Schultz family, and we were able to do international work. I don't want to go into all the details about the different places that we went, because we have this distinguished guest here, and who, left his country, and has always stood on the front line for Mumia. And even in outside the country, you be having differences and with different groups and organizations and stuff. But one thing that in all these countries I found out, the unifying factor was Mumia. And there was differences in Germany, there was differences in France politically, there was differences, well, Denmark was something completely different, but in all these different places. But when you mention Mumia, and Mumia was in trouble, and when I'm saying, getting ready to sign the death warrant, when different things was happening within the case, and we need an international response, these people, and from around the world, and came straight to the front line. And we have to keep that work opened, and in dealing with it, I have no desire no more to travel outside the country, because at one point it was just, we were just constantly going. And when we got to France, we was up here, and then we had a meeting down here, and then we wound up back up and back down, and then come back here into the fight, was a bit tiring. So Suzanne, when she least expected, she was selected to carry on the work. She's like the Energizer Bunny, and she does it well. She speaks French. I was at a handicap there, but was able to do the work that we needed to do there. And also, I don't have a lot to say, but the international work is very, very important. And it has always been in all our movements. Because long before we were going to outside the country, and, there was other political groups, the Panthers, and, members of the BLA. And then while outside the country, I met people that were in exile. And which was wonderful, and the lawyers that helped them. So I mean, it was just a magnificent, eye-opening experience. And because I did not know, I knew Assata Shakur was a political prisoner in exile, and in getting involved in this movement, I found out there was a whole lot of other people over there in Cuba, and that our brother Fidel was helping, and in France the exact same thing. So the international support is very, very important, in fighting for the life of Mumia and for fighting for the life of other people, and in the United States, whether they're political prisoners or just dealing with mass incarceration. I thank y'all for giving me this time, Suzanne. I'm gonna sit down. Thanks.
Yeah, that's fine for me. You'll I just wanted to say that most of us who do this work are convinced that Mumia Abu-Jamal would not be off death row had it not been for this powerful international movement. And that's significant to remember. So, the power in that is incredible, because as I said in a previous workshop, one of the things we learned during the war in Vietnam is that if you embarrass the United States enough about its civil rights, maybe that's them calling. Yeah, it's Ray. We're all waiting for you. We're waiting in room 622 for you, okay? W. He's talking in Creole or French. I forget what I was. Oh yes, that we learned during the war in Vietnam that if you embarrass the United States about, for example, at that time about the kids who were being killed, and bombed, and hosed down with war, that was weakened the United States' ability to wage its war. And there was a tremendous connection. And you all remember the phrase, "No Vietnamese ever called me a nigger"? That was powerful. That was powerful when the soldiers started saying that. And, so the whole struggle, the whole power internationally began to be understood in the 60s. In fact, was understood. You got it working. In fact, was understood. The youth came through. We have faith in the future. So I just wanted to mention that's part of our power. When the next, I think our next message should be for Mumia, because he specifically wrote this message for today.
Okay, let me try it.
Began aptly with the wise assistance of the daughter of one of Black America's greatest writers, Richard Wright's daughter, Julia. Bilingual, brilliant, a writer in her own right, Julia broke through numerous barriers in Richard's home in exile, France. From her early role, it has only grown to a global presence against the American way of death, the prison industrial complex, and the racist injustice that lies at the heart of the industry supporting this new Jim Crow. We have friends and comrades who we work with on a global scale. This is only fitting, for as repression is global, so too must be resistance. The world is now in the throes of a global attack against workers, the poor, students, and the very notion of social justice. This is the face of capitalism running amok, consuming, taking, destroying, and poisoning, from the realm of culture to the very earth upon which we live. In the U.S., prisons are choking state and national budgets, even as Wall Street, the capital of capital, is gorging itself on money stolen from the biggest fraud in modern history, a foreclosure crisis that has caused homelessness in the millions, while banks get trillions in public dollars. Meanwhile, In dozens of American cities, schools are being closed and public services dwindle to a few. Literally, bridges are falling into rivers from disrepair. Obviously, the nation is experiencing serious problems, but America ain't alone. The capitalist campaign of austerity is choking families in Europe too. But it's also being seen in social conflict, fed by a politics of greed and division. Marx famously said that workers have no country. That lesson has been lost in the rivers of blood of the 20th and now the 21st century. Against the rapacious neoliberal poison of globalism must be interposed globalized resistance. We saw glimpses of it in the Occupy movement, the indignados of Spain, the landless peasants movement of Brazil, for example. But there must be more. We must grow globally. We must grow into movements that know no borders or boundaries of land or language, of clan, race, or gender. For we are the collective hearts of human, yearning, burning for a new day, for freedom, for dignity. We can do this. We must do this. I salute you all in solidarity. From Imprisoned Nation, this is Mumia Abu-Jamal. These commentaries are recorded by Noel Hanrahan of Prison Radio.
All right. So first I want to properly welcome our comrade and friend whom I just met in Haiti a few days ago, Senator Moïse Jean-Charles, who's a dynamic, very powerful elected official in the Senate who's been leading a lot of the struggle in terms of getting ousting the troops both in the Senate, internationally, and on the streets. So please welcome our comrade, Moïse. But it's really Fignolet that we've been working with for the past few years. And so we're going to have Fignolet speak about what Mumia represents in Haiti, if you can speak about that. Why he's done this kind of work he's done for Mumia. And how he sees and would like to see the solidarity we can extend in return. S'il vous plaît. That's my French. What Pam calls my French.
And we're going to do it in Creole, Haitian Creole, so we get a little bit more complicated.
Bonsoir à tous et à toutes.
Hello everybody, good evening.
Moi content pour me l'asseoir avec nous.
I'm glad to be here with you.
Pour nous parler de Mumia Abu-Jamal.
To talk about Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Au nom du peuple haïtien.
In the name of the Haitian
people, en mon nom personnel,
in my personal name,
nous porter salutations fraternelles pour nous-mêmes.
Bring you brotherly salutation, sisterly,
et à tous les affiliés de mon organisation centrale autonome.
And from also all the affiliates of my organization, which is autonomous central, which is like a group of unions.
Je suis l'un des membres du mouvement Mumia en Haïti.
I'm one of the members of the Mumia movement in Haiti.
Comme Suzanne vient de dire, et je salue aussi Palm Africa.
And I also greet Palm Africa.
Nous étions ensemble à Washington à la manif
we were together in Washington, a manifestation, demonstration in front of Justice Ministry.
Et en fait, ma présence ici, c'est pour retourner la solidarité en fait de Mumia.
And indeed, my presence here today is to return the solidarity from Mumia Solidarity.
Dans prison, dans ces lits, et livrer un message pour le peuple haïtien dans le cadre de la conférence continentale la semaine dernière.
And from his cell, he sent a solidarity statement to the Haitian people in his struggle in the context of the international conference that took place in Haiti last week.
Et le message a été lu en fait à la conférence.
The message was indeed read at the conference.
Et un CD que j'ai fait passer dans 3 stations de radio à Port-au-Prince.
And later we had it played in 3 different stations in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, the capital.
Et ce message a été marqué un acte de solidarité par rapport à Mumia.
This is our response was to insist on the solidarity, return the solidarity from Mumia.
C'est pourquoi nous autres, nous devons nous mettre ensemble pour lutter, pour en fait faire jaillir la lumière, pour sortir tous les prisonniers politiques, singulièrement la Mumia.
and make it clear that we do have to work together to make sure every political prisoner is released, not just Mumia.
Nous ne pouvons pas accepter que les États-Unis prônent la démocratie à travers le monde.
We will not accept that the United States claim to be the champions of democracy throughout the world.
Et à l'intérieur, il n'y a pas de la démocratie.
While there is no democracy within the country.
C'est pourquoi nous devons nous mettre ensemble pour faire basculer ces fléaux.
So we do have to work together to reverse that process.
Pour démontrer au monde que les États-Unis en fait fait un travail ailleurs et à l'intérieur il fait le contraire.
And so we can demonstrate to the rest of the world, people who don't know it, that the United States claims something and there's something different within its own borders.
Alors, chers amis, chers camarades, la solidarité que nous recherchons tous,
friends, the solidarity that we all seek,
ce n'est pas une chose vaine.
It's not in vain.
Parce que c'est pas une chose mauvaise.
Ah, ok. It certainly is not a bad thing.
Avec la solidarité de peuple,
with solidarity from people to people,
nous allons gagner.
We shall win this fight.
Même si nous gagnons en retard, mais nous avons gagné quand même.
Yeah, it might take us a while, but we certainly will win that fight.
N'ayez pas peur, Mumia sortira de sa cellule de prison.
Don't be afraid. I guarantee Mumia will be freed from his jail.
Et tous les autres qui sont emprisonnés injustement ici.
And if we stay with the struggle, so will the others imprisoned similarly.
Nous savons que le mouvement Mumia c'est un mouvement international.
We know this Mumia movement is an international movement.
Et la solidarité doit être en fait un coude à coude.
And the solidarity is to be one of shoulder to shoulder.
Pour faire
elbow to elbow, actually.
Pour faire basculer, parce que chez nous en Haïti, nous avons un phénomène de la ministère.
In our country, in Haiti, we have a phenomenon which is the minister, which is the United Nations military apparatus in the
Pour
country.
le présent moment, nous n'avons pas de prisonniers politiques, mais nous avons des morts causés par la ministère, des troupes de l'ONU.
So officially in Haiti, we don't have political prisoners, and we have plenty of death caused by the minister.
Plus de 800 000 personnes sont mortes avec l'épidémie de choléra.
More than 8,000 people were exposed unnecessarily to cholera and have died.
Et plus d'un demi-million sont infectés par ces mêmes phénomènes.
And more than 500,000 have gone through the horrendous process of going through a process of infection and barely surviving that.
La vie, c'est une chose sacrée.
Life is sacred.
Et la ministère, sous la commande des États-Unis, arrive en Haïti pour tuer le peuple haïtien.
A minister in his practice under the control of the United States is indeed effectively killing the Haitian people.
Voilà le sens de la solidarité que nous recherchons tous.
That is the sense of the solidarity that we seek.
Un, pour la libération de Mumia.
One, to liberate Mumia.
Deux, pour reconquérir notre souveraineté en Haïti et dans le bassin de la Caraïbe.
For us, as Haitians and Caribbean, to reconquer our sovereignty, both in our own country and the Caribbean.
Encore une fois, vive la liberté, vive le mouvement Mumia.
Again, long live the true freedom, long live the freedom for Mumia and this movement.
À bas la guerre, à bas l'exploitation.
Down with war, down with exploitation.
Merci bien. Okay, many of you may know William Kamakaro, but as you know, but it doesn't lessen our appreciation for his being here today and his very, very special role, not only in supporting Mumia and in fighting for the self-determination of the people of Venezuela and the region, but also for the struggle against U.S. imperialism in general. So William, welcome. He's going to speak from right there.
Thank you very much. I have been working for around 14 years in solidarity with Venezuela. And during these years, I have been able to get in touch with a big diversity of groups and causes around the United States and also around South America. So we start to work with the case, with Mumia Abu-Jamal case years ago. And for us, it's something very important because Mumia Abu-Jamal has been victim of police brutality, also has been unjustly incarcerated, and also we have a powerful state that wants to kill him. For us, police brutality is an extension of the cultural lynching of the United States. So police brutality is the continuation of the lynching in the 20th century and the 21st century. And what the state really wants to do to Mumia Abu-Jamal is to lynch him. So we know of several cases in this city. We know, for example, Amadou Diallo. Amadou Diallo was a case where there was a African immigrant that was killed in the Bronx in front of his house. 4 white policemen killed him and shot him 41 times. He was killed and nobody went to jail. So we can say that basically that's lynching.
Yeah.
So we have another case, for example, Anthony Baez, a Puerto Rican boy that was in his house in the backyard in the Bronx. He was playing soccer, American football, and the ball hit the police car twice, and the second time he just apologized to the police officer. And the police officer just went straight to the backyard and strangulate this boy in front of his family. And this police, the man got just 5 years in prison. Probably in 2 years and a half, he, was free man. So that's also lynching. So we have a Chambel case that was killed a few years ago, and that's the most recent horrible case in the city. And I think that was more than 50. He was big. The police is just shooting him more than 50 times. So if we can mention several cases, we can make a huge list of cases of people that have been lynching in New York City and all over the United States. And that's what the state wants to do to Mumia Abu-Jamal. So, but there's no, this kind of culture, the culture of lynching is something that also we can see in the foreign policy. So because we cannot say that United States have a war against Iraq, for example. Basically, that was a lynching. So we cannot say that NATO and United States has a war against Libya. Basically, it was a lynching. We all saw the images of Gaddafi, how he was killed. Was basically a lynching, something that is taking us to the beginning of the last century. When I saw the images, I was in the airport, and I was waiting for someone in the Kennedy. And the image, and that's another thing of the lynching, because you enjoying watching the victim dying, or you enjoy to see the body, the person that just dead, and just enjoy the, basically when Gaddafi was killed. So we saw the images constantly, how Gaddafi was killed, and was repeated constantly. And I was in the airport, and I was trying to see something, and the TV was all over. I said, okay, this is the only thing that America wants to see, the lynching in Libya, what they did in Libya. So, and that's also what United States wants to do to Venezuela, basically. Right. They want to impose They, first of all, they in some cases they organize some kind of blockade, that is some kind of way to mass incarceration, because you basically are getting a country and you say, hey, you don't have the right to establish commercial relation with anyone, to exchange with anyone. You are in a huge cage. Your country is a huge cage. So basically, when in the case of Venezuela, that's what they have been thinking, how we can go there and do what we have been doing around the world. So, and why for us in Venezuela, and why the movement, why we think that the Mumia Abu-Jamal is important? It's not because Mumia Abu-Jamal is a man that is in a cage and has been fighting for his life 30 years. No, it's not for that. It's not because a man that has been fighting for more than 30 years to be free. No, it's because Mumia Abu-Jamal represents a movement, an international movement. It's because Mumia Abu-Jamal is right now what Frederick Douglass was 100 years ago. It's because it's because Mumia Abu-Jamal in his fight against the system and putting his life in the middle, he's similar to John Brown, because in his struggle to be free in this mass incarceration system, he is also a voice against, for example, apartheid. He represented all those struggles. He represented the independence movement. He represented the struggle against slavery. So that's what Mumia represents for us. Mumia represents not a man that is in a jail, in a cage, somewhere in the United States. It's a movement that is all over the United States. It's a movement that is international all over. And it's a movement that we want, from that movement, is solidarity with the Venezuelan movement, with the Bolivarian Revolution. And that's, sorry, I'm a little
Sorry, it's all right. You're teaching us.
So I'm a little disorganized. So in the case of Haiti, so for example, we see, I'm not an expert in Haiti, but we can see how the United States basically has been lynching Haiti in his history. We can see that between 1950 and 1934, the United States basically destroyed the financial system of Haiti. And since that happened, the United States is giving aid package to Haiti to support its own interest in the country. So since from 1957 to 1971, we can see a bunch of intervention of the United States in this small country, one of the poorest countries of the world and the continent. So we can see they imposed Francois Duvalier. They organized a blockade again. They incarcerate the Haitian, no? And during the George Bush administration, they overthrow Jean-Bertrand Aristide, and Jean-Bertrand Aristide came back to power, and they took him in an airplane and sent him to Africa. They basically the same thing that they wanted to do to Chavez in 2002. So, and that's basically what they do in the United States against black people, basically. So in a culture that is first basically have a huge part is racism, and another big part is classism, and we have to understand that. Classism. So I just want to end saying something that a very good friend of mine in Venezuela always said. He he's an activist, and he's a very well-known activist in Venezuela. And he said, we know the enemy. The enemy is huge. It's powerful. And we as left people, we used to say, hey, I don't need the support of this guy. I don't need this, you know. But we need really, what we need really is to add all the forces, all the intelligence without think how small it is, because we need to work together.
Right.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you, William. Coley Clark, who I said earlier has played a key role introducing us to some of the international people that we work with now, has a few words to say also before we formally introduce them. Get a few words from the senator, which will be translated. Okay?
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. And special salute to Suzanne, who's done all the hard work in putting together this really powerful event. I have walked with her for a few minutes of time as she has struggled to make sure that each piece, Suzanne's a perfectionist, and I cuss her out sometimes because she's a perfectionist. But she struggles through each single piece to make sure that every piece is in place, and we should all give her a round of applause for that.
Dr. Ross.
I'll cuss you out later. And I would like to thank Ray LaForest for having agreed to come and do the hard work, the very difficult work of translating.
Actually, I enjoyed it.
And always welcoming back Bitnole St. Cyr, who I have walked through now since 2007 with. We've been a long journey together and through many places together. We started out, I believe, in Paris together. Was it Algeria? One or the other. And then I would like to welcome the distinguished senator, and I would like to tell y'all we don't know what we have in the house, so you ought to do some pictures. You know, the work of building international struggle has been lifetime work that we often don't recognize that we are doing. And when you spoke, I recognize that you recognize that this is lifetime work. It's work that began the first moment an African was placed on a ship. The first moment a European ship arrived and did a hacienda and said, you know, do you know Jesus to somebody? That is when that work began. And it has extended down through this moment. Now, we've had our ups and downs, but for Haiti and Venezuela, for Mississippi and Venezuela, and Mississippi and Haiti, and I'm from Mississippi, this has been my lifetime work. Because it has been the work of keeping ourselves awake to understand that the enemy, any enemy of humanity, any enemy of the least plant on this earth is an enemy of all humankind. We are bound in a powerful ball with Mother Nature on something called Earth, but we are Mother Nature, not just bound with it. So that work that has been begun, and we've seen Haiti when she got independence, show us how it ought to look. She immediately moved out and began to work with Bolivia, Venezuela, Dominican Republic. Oh yeah, Dominican Republic. And of course, she wasn't alone because Haiti didn't get her independence alone. Because on board was Bookman from Jamaica, on board was the Dominican Republic, on board were people from Grenada and other places. This was always a multi-movement of solidarity. And it's not easy. It's not easy because the enemy works to pull us apart, keep us apart from each other. And we therefore must be single-minded. One people, one mind. So as I leave you, I want to remind you that solidarity starts in the womb of a black mama in Africa. And to be human, I am because we are. Because we are. I am. Now let me hear you say it. I am because we are. Because we are. I am. And I am always with you in the struggle. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
So before we have comments and questions, and there's so many stories to tell in this international saga of the Mumia movement. I mean, some of the stories are really precious, and we should write a book, Pam, on the various the visits to different countries and what has happened. Like the Saint-Denis struggle is classic. I mean, it is an amazing, we talk about the third world and the countries, and France is not an oppressed country, and France does a lot of things we don't support, so we don't support the government of France. But the people of Saint-Denis waged a struggle for Mumia and against police and against the police of the United States, the police of and against the government of the United States that was out of sight in terms of inspiring us and not being intimidated by the United States government when they named a street in honor of Mumia in Little Saint Denis. It's a city of less than 100,000 people, and it's a city of primarily immigrants and people of color, a working class city. And when that city took on the naming of Mumia right near Human Rights Square, the police of Philadelphia and the fraternal of police went crazy. They got 4 resolutions passed in the United States to denounce that action and to ask France, the city of Saint Denis, to retract that name. I'm talking about the city of Philadelphia, the state assembly, the Senate, the state Senate, and the United States Congress all passed resolutions denouncing Little Saint Denis and demanding that they retract the name, and saying that if they didn't, the government of France should make them. And the politician, the mayor, who was really a mayor of several cities, Patrick Browsick, who was an amazing human being, wrote a statement that is historic, an anti-domination, anti-colonial statement saying basically, fuck you. You cannot tell us what to do. We're a sovereign country, a sovereign city. And not only that, they asked, one of the resolution had a request that police everywhere be honored, that police everywhere be honored. And he said, listen, I know we need police, but given what we see around the world that the police does, there's no way we're going to honor the police everywhere. This statement was out of sight, and this is while we were in front of the Fraternal Order of Police in Philadelphia, trying to educate them about how outrageous their position was. Talk about international solidarity, and this was really mind-blowing. So there are so many stories like that. But before we open up to questions, I can't miss the opportunity to have Comrade Moïse say a few words to us. He will be speaking Tuesday night. Come to our event at St. Mary's Church. The two brothers will be giving a report on the conference and talking in detail, about Haiti, and it'll be translated. Please come Tuesday night, but for those of you who can't come, you have to hear Moïse.
Thank you. Merci. C'est un réel plaisir aujourd'hui pour nous ensemble avec nous tous qui dans la salle.
It's a pleasure to be with all of you here present.
Et ça fait longtemps nous combattons pèlerins, nous avons fait en pile visite dans un pile pays pour chercher une solidarité internationale.
Yeah, we have started our journey going to many countries seeking international solidarity.
Nous connaissons nous-mêmes tous ici, ça fait longtemps nous avons gommé pour droit monde, pour monde qui sont en prison, pour monde qui pas manger.
I know you two have been struggling for a long time. People in jail, people who don't have food to eat.
Moment arrivé pour nous faire celle aujourd'hui pour mener cette bataille.
It's time for us today to join forces and make it one struggle.
Imaginons un monde qui est libre, qui pas besoin de manger pour le manger, qui est en bas occupation, il a violé les droits, c'est un peu son monde qui est caché ou bien qui est serré en dans prison.
Imagine a person who has not had food to eat, who is under occupation, who's being hunted. That person indeed is like somebody who's in prison.
Monde là gagne assez ressources pour tout le monde être capable de vivre à l'aise.
We have enough resources in this world so all of us can live comfortably.
Gagner production nourriture qui fait dans le monde là, qui est fait pour 7 milliards d'habitants, l'agriculteur produit pour 12 milliards. Ça veut dire qu'il produit 5 fois plus que ça de produit.
Yeah. There's a production of 12 billion.
Il y a 5 milliards de monde
Oh, there are 5 billion people who need to eat, and they
L'agriculteur produit pour
produce
12 milliards.
for 12 billion.
Ça veut dire que ce n'est pas manger que pas gain.
So the issue is not lack of
Mais
food.
son séparation injuste qui est fait dans le monde là.
The issue is how unjust the separation of resources is.
Son distribution qui est mal faite dans le monde là.
It's a distribution that is not done properly.
C'est comme ça le problème là.
That is the problem.
Je veux même qui dans la salle après-midi, pendant qu'on va manger chaque fois la caille, réfléchis qu'il y a des gens qui passent 3 jours en Haïti qui va jamais manger pour manger.
I want you to think every time you eat that every day there are many Haitians who have nothing to eat.
Pendant ce temps, depuis 1986, la communauté internationale dit qu'il y a un pays pas maintenant en main pour aider nous.
Meanwhile, since 1986, the so-called international community has said that they got Haiti's back.
Toute décision, c'est eux qui prennent le bon nom.
They make all decisions for us.
À chaque fois nous sortis pour nous lever tête, nous disons que nous pays à bon port, ils vont nous coup d'État, ils écraser l'initiative nous prend.
Every time we raise our head trying to bring the country to a different situation, they give us coup.
Est-ce que nous condamnons pour nous rester comme ça ou bien pour nous vivre comme ça?
They don't want to condemn us to live like that forever.
Je ne pas quoi ça.
I don't believe so.
Je dis à un moment arrivé.
Today, the moment has
Moment
arrived.
arrivé, peuple haïtien, peuple brésilien, vénézuélien, peuple américain pour nous faire seul pour nous mener en bataille.
The time has arrived for the Haitian people, Brazilian, Venezuelan, brothers to stand together and defend us.
Et je dis,
Today,
Abu-Jamal, nous avons dénoncé ça longtemps dans les oreilles.
I've been hearing sing to the name Abu-Jamal for a long time.
Pas comme monde qui a fait politique ou toujours dans le secteur de gauche pour pas connaître non ça.
There's nobody who's doing politics from a progressive point of view who will not know that name.
Pas comme monde qui a défendre droit monde qui pas connaître non ça.
There's nobody fighting for human rights who will not know about this name.
Cependant, autorité ou pas dans non ça facile.
But the power that be do not hear that name.
Yo mette yon assez dans les oreilles ou pas dans non ça.
They put still in their ears so they won't hear that name.
Pour entendre non ça, faut frapper, faut parler plus toujours, lever camper plus toujours.
We have to knock hard and stand up until they hear us.
Très bien. OK. Et moi passé
Last month,
ou bien 3 semaines de ça,
well, actually 3 weeks ago,
moi en tant que sénateur de la République d'Haïti,
as a senator of the Republic of Haiti,
nous te préparé une résolution, me faire sénateur voter dans le Sénat la caille moi.
I prepared a resolution that was voted by the Senate of the country.
Dans 20 sénateurs qui étaient présents dans la salle là,
Of the 20 senators present,
19 sénateurs étaient votés pour résolution ça.
19 voted in favor.
Qui ça me dit dans la résolution?
What did it say, that resolution?
Je prends tout article l'ONU écrit.
I took all the articles backed up by the United Nations, written into the charter.
C'est pas moi qui écris, c'est l'ONU qui écrit.
I didn't write them. They were
C'est
in
l'ONU
the
qui
UN
dit
charter.
un pays
It says
ou bien un l'État
the state or a country,
ou bien un groupe l'État
a group of states,
pas qu'il doit interférer dans les affaires en l'autre l'État.
have no right to interfere with the business of other countries.
C'est l'ONU qui dit.
The United Nations says,
C'est pas moi qui dis.
I didn't say.
Le dit tout,
They also say,
chapitre 7 Nations Unies,
chapter 7 of the charter,
il dit c'est seulement les pays qui sont en guerre pour envoyer tout là-dedans.
only when the country is at war do you send troops on their territory.
Pas en guerre.
I'm not at war with you.
Je me rappelle,
I remember,
il y a
I
une
remind
crise en 2004 dans le pays.
there was a crisis in 1984
C'est
in my
eux-mêmes qui
country.
t'ont créé.
They are the ones who created it.
Nous te dit, ils aider nous stabiliser, résoudre le problème ça pour 6 mois.
They came to stabilize us for 6 months.
Je dis à nous qu'il y a 9 années.
Now they've been there for 9 years.
C'est 9 années nous avons là.
9 years we've been with them,
C'est-à-dire,
which means
nous en bas une occupation.
we're in occupation.
Une occupation qui atteint dignité nous comme peuple.
The occupation that touches our own dignity as a people.
Une occupation qui empêche nous de prendre route autodétermination nous comme peuple.
Would prevent us from choosing self-determination and do things the way we want to do.
Moi-même personnellement, comme un leader paysan, socialiste révolutionnaire,
Personally, as a peasant leader, socialist revolutionary,
nous sommes dans une zone dans le pays côté tout le monde qui a fait la révolution dans le pays d'Haïti sorti.
he's from the north of Haiti. So he said, which is true, he said I'm from the part of the country and most of the revolutionaries are born.
Il est vraiment difficile pour moi accepter pour nous capables de garder paysan qui occupent ça nous pas dire en gros.
And it is difficult for me to watch this phenomenon without remaining silent.
Nous faisons ça aujourd'hui entre nous-mêmes, hommes politiques qui ont une idée claire, qui connaissent côté nous aller, avec syndicalistes pour fioler, nous faisons ça aujourd'hui, nous dit faut pas la fini question occupation dans le pays.
And those of us progressive in Haitian politics, together with progressive trade unions like Fignolé, we say this is time this ends.
Et qu'on y en a continué à chercher en solidarité internationale.
And we're looking for your solidarity to have us achieve it.
Très bien. Je pense que le moment est arrivé.
The moment has arrived.
Les m'attend des déclarations Nations Unies fait, c'est pour ça nous voulons. Là dit effectivement yo là te vinn aider, yo te fin dit yo pourquoi quitter qu'on a dit yo gain pour quitter, c'est pas ça nous voulons demander qui est à quitter pays.
We hear statement from the United Nations saying that they came, they're struggling, they're going to help. We don't want to hear that. What we want to know is when are you getting out?
Aujourd'hui, nous avons une date devant nous dans la résolution qui dit 28 mai 2014, nous demandons pour toute troupe Nations Unies quitter le pays d'Haïti. 28 mai 2014, c'est une date pour tout le monde retenir, pour tout le monde qui est dans la tête, parce que nous parlons de travail autour des dates ça aujourd'hui.
We ask you to remember the 20th of May 2014. That's the date we have asked the United Nations to be out of Haiti.
Okay. Ensuite, dans la résolution,
then in the resolution,
nous demandons graduellement,
we ask for gradual
pour le ministère commencer à quitter le pays,
withdrawing of troops,
renforcer la police nationale là,
reinforce national police,
et s'il faut même remplacer char de guerre qui marche dans toute la rue par tracteur pour paysans qui veulent faire jardin.
And we really want them to replace all those tanks they have all over the country and replace them by tractors to help the Haitian people.
Nous pensons que aujourd'hui,
I think that today,
là nous venons dans genre de conférence à yo,
being present here with this conference,
nous avons rencontré avec l'autre monde, l'autre amis qui ont l'autre idée, qui ont l'autre problème, y a beaucoup pour yo.
That we meet people who are dealing with all kind of problems.
Nous faut nous faire un package.
We have to make it one package.
Yon ensemble,
one group.
Dans mathématiques, yon ensemble dans mathématiques, ça veut dire qu'il y a plusieurs éléments dedans.
Oh, I'm not sure to say that. One sum in mathematics which has different elements.
À chaque fois, on a parlé des questions Abu-Jamal.
Every time we talk about
parler des dates 28 mai 2014 pour Haïti capable libre.
Talk about 20th of May of 2014 when Haiti should be free.
Et là ça,
then
nous avons un pays.
We'll have a country.
Côté l'après nous maîtresse.
Which will be our very own.
Nous entrer dans la production nationale.
We'll be able to affect the national production. Send kids to school.
Nous travaillons pour nous capables tout le monde d'ouvrir brand dans le pays nous.
Make water available to all.
Avec une circulation d'argent.
Enough money to
take
care of business. Nobody should be afraid.
Et là ça la bon ni pour nous ni pour l'autre pays qui est à côté de nous.
It will be good for us and our neighbors.
Parce que nous tous sommes seul pays.
Because we are really one country.
Avec certaines petites différences.
With some small differences.
Mais c'est nous-mêmes sommes seul pays.
We still one country.
Nous condamnés pour mener bataille ensemble.
We are condemned to fight together.
Pas qu'un camp en route. Pas qu'un camp en route, nous allons aller jusqu'au bout.
We are stopping. We're going all the way.
Merci.
Thank you.
Minister Aye, Aye, Aye. Minister Aye, Aye, Aye. Minister Aye, Aye, Aye. You have just spoken in Creole, told the minister to get the hell out. So.
By the way, I'll take the liberty to say that this individual who just spoke has a, what is that, that target thing that has a bullseye on his back bigger than probably any other Haitian. This guy puts his life on the line every day to say what he's saying.
There have been three attempts on his life.
That we know.
And we know that Aristide, for example, never leaves his house. He's back in Haiti but can't leave his house. So the situation is extremely dangerous and many people are very worried about Comrade Moise's security. And so we cherish his contribution. So now we open it up to questions.
Before you open, may I make a statement?
Yeah.
Please. It would be really negligent on my part to talk about solidarity work that to say that, the importance of the Mumia piece is great, and that we are looking at all the prisons of the world. And when we look at the prisons of the world, of course, if we looked at all the prisons in the world, 1 and every 11 would be a black man from the United States, and Mumia would be in the number. But Russell Schultz would be in the number. And when they went to Haiti, there was the solidarity statement from Mumia, who's an old-time, long-running friend of Haiti. Haiti sees them as a member of the community. But also, Maroon went to Haiti. And Maroon's statement went to Haiti. And it was shared on program. It was read in Creole to the thousands that listened. And so we should thank Suzanne and Nellie Bailey, and we should thank Kim Ives for all of that great work that they did in Haiti for this conference. I was home with the pneumonia, folks, so they went to do it.
The message that Maroon sent was amazing.
Amazing.
Because Maroon, like Mumia, loves Haiti. There's a special love for Haiti, and please do translate that, a special love for Haiti among black people who are knowledgeable in the United States, a deep, deep love. And both Maroon and Mumia pour their love at the historic role, the courageous role of Haiti in defeating 3 colonial powers, not just France, not just Spain, but Great Britain. And and Maroon specifically talks about the history of Maroons in Haiti and what that meant in Haiti and what an inspiration that's been to him. And that statement, of course a lot more people knew about Mumia, but people by the time we left knew about Maroon, because we would mention his name next to Mumia's every time. So that his message was very, very powerful. You guys got to read those statements by the 2 brothers about Haiti, what Haiti means. I mean, I felt I was walking on hallowed ground, literally, in being in Haiti. So, and this was a dream of mine since I became a little educated late in life, about 10 years ago, about the significance of Haiti. I've been wanting to go to Haiti because I understand a little bit about its significance. So I invite you all to ask questions, to make comments, please. And you can address them to the comrades, to anybody. Teresa, I call on you first. That's the daughter of Russ and Maroon Schultz.
So that's Harry Tubman.
I'd just like to say that it is an honor to meet you all, and I feel what you stand for, because when my father is still in prison, so 40 years right now, and 30 years in solitary confinement. And he escaped from prison twice.
3 times.
His admiration and his courage come from resistance like what Haiti did when they stood their ground.
That's right.
He admires that type of struggle. It's the type of struggle that we should live. That anyone that stands up to any rotten government, in my heart, I feel anything that I can do, I will do. My father put his life on the front line. And as long as you take that stand and don't give up, of course we're going to lose some of our people. But you cannot win nothing. They will not give you anything. You got to take it. And we're ready to take it, and we'll take it with you.
I see this is a crowd that's emotional right now and really has felt this presentation, which is wonderful. Any comments? Any questions? Yes, sister. If you stand up, it would help. Thank you. Or you can come up if you want to.
Yeah, I came from Algeria. I'm an immigrant. I'm a US citizen too.
You can come loudly.
My name is Fatma Benchouk. I am Algerian.
Right. And
what you are talking about is part of my baby history too. We have been colonized by France for 132 years. The Algerians have been killed, like 7 million Algerians have been killed during, this is only the statistic, that's formal statistic. More have been killed. And the Algerians were terrorized by the French. Women and children were starved in the mountain of Tassila and Hogar, and they died, after many months. Other people were in caves. They were burned by the French, and they committed many genocides, and they transported them in big ship to Marseille, and they burned them. What they did more than what they did to the Jewish for the Holocaust. They did more what the Israeli did to the Palestinians too. But they covered their story. Nobody will speak for it, because they said Algeria is a part of it's French. It's like it's French Algeria. It's part of our country. Anyway, my father was tortured by the French the way the people are tortured in Guantanamo Bay. They did all the things that you cannot, even imagine about. And it's really emotional for me. It's like, it's hard to talk, but when I remember, we did face terrorism too by the French students, the Algerian government, who were student or the puppet of the French government. And what can I tell? It's like, it's about the New World Order, who want to eliminate the people that they don't like, or they are against them, like Venezuela, Cuba, or any other countries. They did kill the Algerian president, Boumediene. He was killed, but I never found here that he was killed. If I go to all US history, he died. Because he was killed by the CIA and the Israeli Mossad, because he was for the Palestinian case, was against Israeli, government. When we talk about government, not about the people. And it's like justice, or to fight for justice or solidarity. It comes from people.
That's right.
Government don't care about us, and it's about us. It's about human rights. And if you have any questions about Algeria, I can answer you. That's all. Thank you.
I just want to say that both Coley and I were in Algeria a few years back, and I came to send a message in support of Mumia at the time too. And when I finished speaking, the crowd, the audience just came rushing up to get buttons, pictures, to ask about Mumia. I'll never forget a woman from Martinique talking as though Mumia was literally her brother, saying, "How is he? What's happening with him? Please tell me whatever you can." The passion blew me away. This wasn't some intellectual left just chanting for Mumia. This was real passion about this man representing something for the struggles of the people of the world. Coley.
I think you and I both need to say it. But poised on an island in southern Spain, on the demand of Barack Obama to the Spanish government that it turn over to the United States its military base there for the invasion of Algeria.
That's right.
And we should know that it's there. They've already been invading and sending in through Libya on that 900-mile border that runs between Algeria and Libya, through Chad and through Mali. They've already been sending in everything they can negative. There have been hundreds who have been killed in Algeria already. So we owe Algeria, like we owe Haiti, like we owe Venezuela, like we owe Cuba. We owe some places, and we owe Algeria, and we owe it to our children and our children's children to stop this government in right now. Say you're not going to go into Algeria. You will pull your behinds up out of Africa. You will close all 29 of your goddamn bases, and you will do it now and take the international motherfucker fund. I don't want to be in my old age getting ugly, but it is time that we pay our debts in the United States. And we owe Algeria. The whole world owes Algeria. Mandela came on his knees to say, I thank you for Algeria's role in the struggle against the continuing struggle against apartheid, but at that particular phase. But we have got to say it. It must be said, and we must say to this young woman that we got your back, sister.
Yeah. I want to reinforce the point that Collier makes. We don't owe Algeria. Stand up so you can see seriously, because I want to say this directly to you, as well as to those of us here. We don't owe Algeria in some intellectual or theoretical, but in a material, substantive way, in that Algeria, like Cuba, from its revolution, provided us and our struggle with material support, including giving refuge to our people who were in need of exile, of training, and material support. So when we say that we owe Algeria, we owe Algeria, and we must. We cannot come, we in the United States cannot come of age without, one, acknowledging and repaying those debts, as well as claiming and freeing the political prisoners in this United States who still languish in dungeons here. So, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I've really been moved and deeply touched by everyone's presence. And I want to especially thank Francis Golden for having the temerity and the love and the dedication for publishing Mumia's work. So
Any other comments? Somebody asked your age, Francis, and I told.
I thought you only in the seat, so she says no.
So, Francis and I were arrested last year in civil disobedience action in Washington. And there were a few of us over 70, and we were all very, very proud to be arrested. So, any other comments? Judith?
I just hope that what's going on in this teeny tiny classroom gets out there.
We have video, we have all this being, this is going to be transmitted. And please come Tuesday night. CPR. Please come Tuesday night to St. Mary's Church in Harlem on West 126th Street between Broadway and Amsterdam, 6:30 p.m. You'll hear much more detailed presentations from our two comrades about the conference, about the struggle against minister, about the United States' role, about Brazil's role. This is fascinating stuff on top of being very, very important. You're not going to be bored, I can promise you. Rebecca.
I have just one minor comment to add to what the gentleman from Venezuela, William, I believe he has said, about the police lynchings, you know, the lynchings of people by the NYPD. Sean Bell was not the most recent. Since then, there's been Ramarley Graham and Kimani Gray. And the police knew that Ramarley Graham did not have a gun. They made that up after the fact. That was not justifiable homicide. It was not self-defense. It was an extrajudicial execution.
Exactly. Every 28 hours.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Sadiq.
I would like to ask Brother William about, when we were in Venezuela, we were at that food sovereignty program. And how does that relate to what's happening in Haiti?
That's a good question.
What was the question? Sorry.
We were in Venezuela to a food sovereignty program, and I want to know from William and from the brothers in Haiti, how, do we have the same thing going on, or, because I know I heard the Haitians refused to take Monsanto seeds and stuff.
Better believe it, buddy.
This month, we have a law of seed that protect the traditional seed in Venezuela, and there is a group of people in the assembly that belong to the different right-wing groups that they want to change the seed law to be able to get Monsanto in Venezuela. Chavez was against Monsanto. Chavez have a strong position against Monsanto, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that what's going to happen this month is that the seed law in the law against Monsanto is going to be stronger. So they are going to support it.
And this has been a terrific panel. I'm wondering, can we get written copies of the statements from Maroon and Mumia made in Haiti so that we can just start distributing them?
We have them both. I don't have Maroons in English. I have Maroons in okay. We will put them both up and send them out. Promise. And if we don't do it, come after me. Okay?
By the way,
yeah, they're beautiful.
Fiona wanted to respond to that question about the situation in Haiti, about the food stuff.
Alors, en fait, je voudrais, pour la camarade Algérie, en fait, Haïti, il y a un pile haïtien qui te mettait avec occupant pour te tuer Charles Imperial aussi. Et plusieurs monde.
He said, well, like in your situation, we have in Haiti someone named Charles Imperial who's like the Faramundo Marti or Sendin who fought American troops in Haiti. And many Haitians, fortunately, cooperated with U.S. troops to have him killed.
Et c'est pareil pour pays.
So we understand that happening to you.
Et je dis à nous connaît qui pression Algérie a subi pour que lui-même les participer dans la guerre au Mali.
So we know the pressure that's being put on Algeria to join the war against Mali.
Et tout comme Kolia se dit que le gouvernement américain a fait pression sur lui et qu'on y a en Espagne il a établi une base militaire américaine pour au moment opportun pour intervenir. No,
I had not translated what Kolia says, but he's repeating it that there's a base, an American base in Spain that they want to use to invade Algeria.
Et moi, je suis allé 2 fois en Algérie.
I went twice to Algeria.
Dernière fois, je c'est en 2011 dans la conférence urgence contre la guerre, contre l'exploitation.
2011, conference against intervention.
Suzanne était présent, Kolia. Et cette année encore, nous serons là pour tester contre ça. Alors, en Haïti, ce qui sont Monsanto.
The foodstuff is Monsanto.
Dans le cadre d'un projet que USAID gagne qui s'appelle WINER avec les gouvernements haïtiens.
And there's a project in Haiti that's called WINER.
WINER. W-I-N-E-R.
Okay. It's called WINER. That they have with the government.
C'est un organe de USAID.
It's a organ of USAID.
Dans le cadre du projet Monsanto qui a fait Gonaïve dans le département Pamouin et Plateau Central.
And they do it in this place of birth which is Gonaïve in the Plateau Central which is the breadbasket of Haiti.
Il y a une grosse manifestation qui fait contre bagaille ça mais le gouvernement persiste avec
huge demonstration against that as you said, but the present government is actually supporting that.
Parce que objectif c'est parce que
l'objectif
WINER c'est en fait c'est un produit hybride. Vous
connaissez hybrid product that is presenting to the Asian
et à un certain moment tu as déjà pas produit encore parce qu'il va arriver une désert.
And if they do use it, as far as we know, the land will be desert, may be dry after a while.
Et ça fait programme, ça fait en fait ça entrer dans programme pour rendre pays plus pauvre pour que eux-mêmes produits aux États-Unis qu'elles vendent en Haïti.
Yeah. And one might not be, I guess, paranoid to think that maybe it's not an accident, that doing so will make Haiti more dependent so they can even control it more easily.
Et tout d'abord, nous, de Haïti, nous devons nous mettre ensemble pour mener un combat sur tous les plans pour reconquérir la souveraineté parce que ça a décidé au niveau gouvernemental.
Yeah. So we also definitely have to join the struggle because these decisions have to be made on the level of government primarily.
Et avoir un gouvernement plus ou moins démocratique qui est capable de répondre aux desiderata de la population.
And about the government at least democratic to respond to the needs of the population.
Et nous y arrivons quand même.
Yeah, we'll get there and clearly we don't have that now.
We're kind of coming toward the end, but if there are any more comments or questions, please.
I was wondering, like, I've been thinking about donating, like, clothing and stuff to Haiti, but I know that if you give stuff to the Red Cross, you know, ain't no telling where it will wind up. I wanted, was there a way we can donate stuff where, you know, I can make sure that people in Haiti actually benefit from stuff that you donated? And secondly, can people in the U.S. fly directly to Haiti?
Yes.
Because I know my wife's a nurse, and she was thinking about going there when it was having the situation.
That's what we just did. So,
Okay,
yes.
you have to go through Miami?
No, just goes direct flight.
Okay, all right.
Very short. Yeah,
Okay.
3.5 hours.
Okay.
Do you want to answer then about contributions? How people
But on the
give
form
money?
of clothing,
You're talking about money or clothing?
Money.
You're talking about money. Money. How can people give money to something that's reliable? It's not the Red Cross, not for the people of Haiti. He says that's not, it doesn't go through the Red Cross. Not for Clinton, not for President Clinton.
La Croix-Rouge, en fait,
No, we know not.
si on veut donner quelque chose, il faut que ça se passe par des organisations sociales, que vous avez des rapports pour, et avec vous-même, aider des gens qui ont nécessité.
He says the only way to do it is you have to do it through social organization with which you have contact. But I guess I should tell him that's what you're asking. Exactly. Okay, he's going to address the issue.
Okay.
Senator.
And by the way, IFCO here in New York has been a great channel for getting aid to Haiti. IFCO, yes, on West 145th Street.
My friend.
Yes, you can answer.
Yeah. Besoin pour parler pendant les parler des questions Croix-Rouge là sur situation ONG en pays d'Haïti.
Since you mentioned the Red Cross, I'd like to use that opportunity to talk about the broader issue of the NGOs in Haiti.
Et m'a profite occasion ça pour me dire ça là.
I want to say that today.
Par exemple, une zone qui est le Port-au-Prince.
There's a zone around Port-au-Prince, the capital.
Mais gain zone champ de masse.
Within it, there's a champ de Mars, which is a park.
Dans petit périmètre ça,
Within that perimeter,
où joine Croix-Rouge haïtienne,
you have the Haitian Red Cross,
Croix-Rouge américaine,
the American Red Cross,
Croix-Rouge espagnole,
Spanish Red
Croix-Rouge
Cross,
canadienne,
Canadian
Croix-Rouge
Red
française,
French
Croix-Rouge la
Red
Suisse,
Swiss Red Cross,
après joine Oxfam America,
you have Oxfam America,
Oxfam Angleterre, Oxfam Angleterre, dans même petit périmètre encore joine Food for the Poor,
Food for the Poor,
et pour joine qui est encore, ou joine un paquet organisme.
and many more organizations.
Yo mettez au côté
They gather together.
CNN pour le passer,
CNN is going by,
CBS pour le passer,
CBS is going by,
et yo tout a fait même travail là.
and they're doing the same work.
Est-ce que nous avons une situation?
Do you see the situation?
Pendant ce temps,
Meanwhile,
tout répondent dans la section communale ou bien dans la zone
the majority
périphérique de
of the
Port-au-Prince,
of the country outside of Port-au-Prince,
c'est côté qui a plus de problèmes,
where the needs are greatest,
yo pas aider moun sa
they're not being any help.
mais yo mettez en côté la presse a passé pour faire propagande pour yo.
But there's no press there, so I guess that's where the propaganda is best.
Nous condamnons ça nous-mêmes.
Hein?
Nous condamnons ça.
We condemn that.
Nous avons plein d'amis qui veulent faire solidarité avec
We know there are
nous.
many friends who want to do solidarity.
Étudier en formule,
Study a formula.
si nous faisons solidarité avec les peuple haïtien pour nous faire solidarité avec.
So if you do it, let's be real about it.
Situation, c'est pas une situation qui joue qu'elle y est.
It's not a game.
Moi, après, dans le moment tremblement de terre là,
When the earthquakes took place,
dans plein d'organismes, au lieu qui ramassent corps, qui font pas que bail, au lieu qui des pays d'Haïti, c'est
many organizations raised money, but the effect of their donation actually was
véritable
negative.
concerné au pas joindre livre.
It's very hard to do real work.
Je dis étudier l'autre couloir possible.
Study other ways of
Si nous
providing
besoin aider les peuple
assistance.
haïtien pour nous aider.
So you can do so.
Je dis par exemple,
For example,
gain paysan dans la Tibonite.
peasant in the Atibonite Valley.
Moi-même, je suis sorti dans le monde paysan, moi-même personnellement.
I'm from a peasant world myself.
Les m'a voté budget paysan.
When I vote on the budget of the country,
Au lieu me dit à bas du Miami,
instead of just saying down with Miami rice, which by the way they're dumping in the
je
country,
préfère mettre comme dans le budget pour acheter engrais pour paysans dans la Tibonite.
so I'd rather put money in the budget so you can put fertilizers.
Je préfère mettre comme dans le budget pour tirer canaux pour paysans dans la Tibonite.
What is that?
Pour tirer canaux pour irriguer terre.
Ah, to put funds so you can do irrigation. I didn't know that particular expression. Must be from the area where you're from.
Mais cependant,
However,
malgré votre budget, le gouvernement n'a pas quitté comme ça à jeunes paysans en vrai.
even though we vote on it, the government makes sure that that money doesn't get to the peasants.
Je dis pendant ma parole là,
Today,
paysans de la Tibonite perdent 2 récoltes du riz. Pendant paysans de la Tibonite perdent 2 récoltes du riz.
they have lost two production of rice, to rice production.
Ça veut dire pour nous, ça veut dire c'est grand goût, c'est misère.
I mean, that's complete misery. People have no food to eat.
Mais, si vous avez qui dit, on cherche possibilité pour nous faire paysans à Tibouine, je n'engrais directement.
If you were to provide fertilizer or grain to them,
son gros bagaille.
That's great.
Dans le moment pour nous planter terre,
when it's time to come to plant,
paysans qu'on sait que le terre,
they prepare the land.
La pluie a tombé.
Rain is falling.
Mais ils n'ont pas gagné $3 haïtiens.
We don't have $3 Haitian
pour acheter grain maïs.
Buy the seeds.
Pour acheter semences maïs, semences pour planter.
Yeah. For beans.
Si nous jeunes monde faire solidarité avec mon paysan, nous pas quoi son mauvais bagaille.
That's the kind of solidarity.
De toute façon, ça qui est important, c'est toute l'information que nous avons besoin. Non. Dans le cadre de solidarité, nous nous battons ensemble. Tout ça nous avons fait ensemble, c'est pour nous faire dans le cadre de travail pour libérer les prisonniers politiques, travail pour nous supporter les Haïtiens pour faire son travail qui m'a demandé en pile temps, en pile détermination, avec en pile conviction. Merci.
Yeah, it's a struggle that takes a lot of time and a lot of conviction. And you have to do it with the local institutions.
Okay, merci.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes.
I know in reference to Clinton being part of a United States representative or helping with monies that were supposed to go to the Haitians. When the earthquake happened, my brother went to Haiti to dig a personal friend out that the emergency people couldn't get through. He noticed that Clinton was starting a big cell phone company there in Haiti. And some folks there thought that he was using most of the donations that were coming in to take over businesses in Haiti. Is any of that, what is that like, and what has Clinton been, outside of we know that he couldn't have been so good there, what's going on now?
And his wife.
And the wife.
And his brother-in-law.
Alors, Bill Clinton, c'est le gouverneur en fait d'Haïti, c'est le président de la République.
Clinton is like the governor, like the proconsul of Haiti.
Avec l'argent récolté au nom du peuple haïtien,
with the money collected in the Haitian people,
les grands businessmen, des chaînes d'hôtels pour construire des chaînes d'hôtels.
That's money they have assisting big hotel chains to build in Haiti.
Parce que le peuple haïtien n'a pas droit à cet argent. Hein.
Haitian people are just here dying.
Parce qu'il faut qu'il y ait de l'hôtel pour loger les blancs qui arrivent, les blancs d'exploitation qui viennent nous exploiter là.
So you need hotels so that the white people who come to exploit us can, you know,
nous avons l'hôpital université d'État d'Haïti qui a été en fait effondré pendant le tremblement de terre.
We have a state hospital, which is the largest medical institution in Haiti, which collapsed because of the earthquake.
La France, le Canada et les États-Unis se sont mis d'accord pour reconstruire.
Canada and the United States agreed to rebuild it.
Il faut dire que cet hôpital, c'est le plus grand hôpital en Haïti qui reçoit les gens.
It's the largest public hospital in the country.
Et jusqu'à date,
until now,
n'a pas reconstruit.
It hasn't been rebuilt yet.
Et on a construit 4 chaînes d'hôtels.
But they have built 4 chains of hotels.
Il y a Marriott qui est en construction.
And Marriott is building another one.
Et cet argent, en fait, ce sont les entrepreneurs qui ont accès aux prêts pour construire les chaînes d'hôtels.
And this money is being used as seed money for entrepreneurs to launch hotels.
S'il y a un projet en Haïti, il faut envoyer des experts et les experts logent de l'hôtel, louent un 4x4 pour sécurité.
So you're saying
ça
that this
fait
is a circle.
$400
So
par
you have a
jour.
project, you get experts, they go to the hotel and you have to pay for them, you rent a 4x4 for them, you provide them food security.
Et là, c'est fiasco total.
And then it's a fiasco, there's nothing left.
Et jusqu'à date, nous avons 2 millions de gens sous des tentes.
And we have millions of people in the tents, living in the tents today.
Paul Farmer, just if you could just give
Paul Farmer.
Farmer.
Yes.
please speak about Paul Farmer.
Vous voulez parler de Paul? Pas connaître ces personnes. He doesn't really know enough to address. And if I may add something personal, they're building a hospital. I mean, that's one in the Plateau Central Plateau, where they're building it, and that's really good.
Mais c'est une initiative, donc initiative privée. C'est pas une initiative qui peut pas ici retrouver ou bien peut pas ici.
Private initiative. So although they could make some good, but this has to be fit within the context of a broader effort.
I just want to add that I've heard quite a few negative stories about Paul Farmer. I don't know, I'm not an expert on Haiti, but I've heard it from Haitians, and I want to take note of it here.
Yeah.
Because I think I'd be remiss not to mention it. So we need to research who they are. At the very least, we need to research who Paul Farmer is.
Especially accepting to become Clinton's assistant.
And he's also put out on, I believe, Democracy Now! Projects him. I think I've heard him mentioned on Democracy Now! As somebody who's doing positive things in Haiti. So my advice is, based on my limited knowledge, check it out. Don't assume nothing. Don't assume nothing. And I definitely don't assume good.
What percentage of the houses have been rebuilt for the people whose homes?
Ça me déchire, faut que me camper.
This is what I have to get up to talk to you about that.
Faut me camper pour parler.
Stand up.
Et après tremblement de terre là,
After the earthquake,
tout le monde a espoir Haïti va changer.
everybody was hoping Haiti would change.
Chaque pays a annoncé 1 milliard, 300 milliards,
Everybody played
400
$1 billion,
milliards.
300
Ils ont annoncé 9 milliards pour
4
reconstruire
billion,
Haïti.
9 billion to reconstruct Haiti.
Pendant que je parle là,
As I'm talking to you right now,
si on me dit qui côté, ils ont construit un bureau de l'État,
if you could tell me where they built one public office
ou bien on caille pour malheureux,
or one house,
je vais besoin de dans pays encore.
if you can show me that I'll give it. You win.
OK? Celle ça me connaît.
What I know,
Je connais le président Préval qui a un programme
there was a program with President Preval before he was there when the earthquake took place.
pour construire des buildings dans la zone Fonds national.
He was building some place at the edge of Port-au-Prince.
Et on va distribuer par appartement pour malheureux.
They were going to distribute them to poor people.
Nouveau président vient là pour un programme ça.
This new president took charge of that program.
On croit c'est un programme qui était valu à peu près 150 millions de dollars américains.
It was worth $150 million US.
Il prend 50 millions.
They took the money.
Il a fait des petites maisons dans une zone qui est les Monts Cabrit.
They went to build little houses in a place called Goat Hill.
En petite maison, 3 personnes ne peuvent pas vivre dedans.
3 people cannot live there.
Et je comme Haïti Liberté TV et une photo ça yo, je souhaité que yo quitté email pour nous voir image ça pour yo.
And those pictures have appeared in the Haitian paper, Haiti Liberté, progressive paper, by the way. And if people, when they email, we'll be glad to send you so you can see what we're talking about.
Après ça,
After that,
tout le monde qui était en bas tente, tout pour parler national.
all those were in tents directly across from the National Palace.
Côté de pour entrer dans le pays, on va prendre moun yo.
Those people you see right away when you come into the country,
Yo prend tout moun yo.
they have taken those people
Y a le serré dans coin
and have
dans capitale là.
buried them in some corner of the capital.
Ensuite, moun qui va les déplacer en bas tente yo.
Those who didn't want to move willingly,
Yo la fait dans
they
tente ça yo.
burned those tents on them.
Content de fait tout le monde.
And once there's fire, people start running
Ou bien les soirs,
at night.
yo la un groupe bandit a tiré dans zone ça pour faire moun yo peur pour quitter zone ça yo.
They send a group of criminals with guns to terrorize them.
L'entrée par point se dit ah bon gros effort qui fait là.
When you come into the country, you say, wow, great effort has been done. Look at things have so better.
C'est ça que fait l'autre jour, là nous finissons organiser conférence là.
That's where the other day after the conference,
Un bon groupe qui est monde qui est dans la conférence qui est dans le pays Argentine, dans le pays et Algérie, dans le pays Brésil,
people from Brazil, Argentina,
États-Unis,
United States.
et Suzanne de bon côté.
Suzanne was there.
Nous avons visité tout le monde en bas de tente yo.
Yeah, we went to visit all the people living in the tents.
Suzanne te ouais, même toilette moun ça pas gain.
They don't even have toilets.
Toilette qui a servi à son bagage qui fait en bois qui plein, cap débordé.
It's a unspeakable thing that just is in wood and is overflowing.
Qui gain verre cap rouler dans toilette ça yo.
Worms.
Et qu'on y a et nous te dit Suzanne bagage, Suzanne gain pour le fond toilette pour moun ça yo.
Ah, il promet?
Non, il va promettre, non, c'est moi qui te dis, il faut faire une toilette pour moun sa yo.
Bah, ouais.
Il va faire promesse, il me dit, il faut qu'il construise une toilette, faut nous construire une toilette pour moun sa yo.
So he has volunteered Susan to help build proper toilets.
And I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going.
Yeah. Et nous passons un moment difficile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a
Speaking
difficult
of which,
chapter.
I have a few thank yous to offer. So, wait, one second. So, I want to specifically say that the trip, both my trip to Haiti and Fignolet's trip here, is through the generous contributions of the Free Mumia Abu-Jamal Coalition. That's how we were able to fund that. It's not, these things don't just happen. Everybody knows you have to pay for these things. So I want to thank the Free Mumia Coalition, first of all, for its contribution to that. Second, I want to introduce Ray now as a person who's been a long-time activist in support of Mumia for many, many years, who's a Haitian activist in the Haitian community and has been a friend to all of us for many, many years. And today, thank you so much for your constant
Thank you for the opportunity.
And I also want to thank all of you. Not one of you walked out.
Yeah.
Not one of you walked out. You know how these left forum things are. People walk in and out the whole time. And it's like, and say, I'll come and listen for 10 minutes. If it's too boring, I'll leave. And everybody sat here and participated in such a rich way. So I really want to thank you for being a great participatory group of activists in solidarity with Haiti, in solidarity with Venezuela, in solidarity with Mumia for all these years. And to the Algerian sister, thank you so much for your contribution. And to Pam, who has been exhausted and has been here since yesterday morning and stayed especially for this. What? Yeah. So, and one last announcement is that, first of all, I want to remind you again to come Tuesday night, but also we have a new campaign that's been going on for a few months to bring Mumia home. It's again focused on the Justice Department, but this time also on the governor of Pennsylvania. Ajamu, raise your hand. He has cards for all of you to sign. If you can afford $1 for the mailing of it, for the production of it, that's great. If not, take it anyway.
I'm going to distribute these cards, but first I want to say this. Now, I wasn't intending to say it, but the Spirit is moving me. We must build an international democratic movement of power to push back these global bloodsuckers all over the world. If not now, when?
Is that a synonym for motherfuckers?
Motherfucker bloodsuckers, yes. But it's not just rhetoric. You know, we need to, it's not like asking for anything. We must build the power to make it happen. That's our charge, okay? Now, part of the struggle to bring Mumia home is to get more than 1 million of these postcards delivered to the Department of Justice. Take one, sign your return address, sign the back, and give it back to me, okay? And if you can donate $1, please do that for the postage. For the stamps, yes. Thank you.
Oh, the button.
Suzanne.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry, Chloe. Chloe has something else to say.
But I think it's important to talk about what has come to Haiti from other nations. And Venezuela, the highway, it just went through Dabi Jesu's land a couple of days ago. And that highway was given by our brother who has now left us the lasting legacy, Shabazz. Shabazz Highway is about finished. The projects from Venezuela to Haiti have been positive. The projects in every area in which you have given them have been positive. And the projects from Cuba. Cuba and Haiti have both, Venezuela have both given lasting projects. Stuff you don't have to ask what happened to the $10 billion. What they gave from their own budgets, and it's there. You can go there and see the doctors at work. You can go there and see the clinics. You can go there and see the petro areas. You can go there and see the other projects. And the highway is just about finished. So I said we thank Venezuela for and Chavez for the contribution.
So thank you again. Hope to see you Tuesday night. If you didn't sign up, sign up. If you want to work,
remember to sign the card on the back, please. That's where the petition is.
And finally, one last word. Long live international solidarity.
Right here. Cards, please.
Okay.